Hi guys, my name is Sarah, and I am the owner of Hoo Jewelry and Crafts .weebly.com, and I have all kinds of things on my website. So if you want to take a few minutes and go take a look, there's lots of stuff that I offer that is anywhere from jewelry or to crafts. But today I'm going to show you a small tutorial on how to make a wire wrapped ring. This is a very simple ring. The one that I have here to show you is a little bit bigger than the one that I'm going to show you how to do. But this is basically the same concept. So you're just going to choose a center bead. This one is a glass pink ice collared, and it's wrapped in a amethyst colored artisan 22 gauge wire. This wire is very easy to wrap. It's very easy to move. That's why I like to use the artisan wire. But for the one I'm going to make today, you want to choose out a color of a bead that you want to do. I'm going to do a burnt yellow tiger's eye resemblance glass bead. This is about a 10 millimeter. Also, you need to choose the color of artisan wire you're going to use. Today I'm going to use this emerald green 22 gauge. You also need to get your mandrel, or if you don't have a mandrel, you can use a really big Sharpie or anything that represents the size of your fingers. Also, this is going to be sturdy enough for you to be able to wire wrap. Now, the mandrels will go from a size 1, do quarter sizes and half sizes, and it goes from a 1 all the way up to a size 15. But today we're going to do a size 8. You also want a pair of snips to be able to cut your wire, and you want to get a needle nose pliers. So go ahead and grab your artisan wire and do 25 inches of that and straighten it out and get it ready. Once you have it straightened, go ahead and bead on or thread on your bead. Once you get it on, you want to hold the two ends together and then pull that bead around to the bottom. Pull tight on your wire to make sure that they're both the exact same length. Once you have your bead threaded on, my mandrel has a divot in the back of it to where my bead can rest. That way it kind of helps you hold it in place. So I'm going to set my bead on that divot, and I'm going to go down to a size 9. We're going to make a size 8, but you want to start threading or wrapping around a size 9. As you wrap your wire around your bead, it's going to start to shrink up. So you want to start a full size bigger than what you're wanting the finished ring to be. So you got a wire on your left and a wire on your right. You want to start with either side you want to start on. I'm going to start on my left, and I'm going to wrap the left side wire around the top of the mandrel right at a 9, go under the mandrel, holding that bead in place at a size 9, and then you want to do it one more time with that left side wire, making sure not to crisscross your wires. You don't want any of them overlapping the other. So you want to have 2 wraps right on the size 9. Holding that wire down on the bottom side of the mandrel, you want to go to the other side and do the same thing. Wrap that wire around your mandrel 2 times, having that wire end up pointing down where the bead is. So you have 4 wraps, as you can see here, 4 wraps right around the size 9. So you want to move those 2 middle wraps, these 2 middle ones, right around, keeping the 9 in between the 2. So what I want to do now is go ahead and, holding that wire still, turn your mandrel upside down and then turn the mandrel all together so that you have the bead resting over the size 9. Go ahead and pull tight on those 2 wires, one on the left, one on the right, and you want to make sure that they are not overlapping any of the other wires that you've already wrapped. Holding it on the size 9, I'm going to go ahead and take that left wire, which is going to go around the bottom of the bead. Actually, go ahead and take that right side one and lean it over, or wrap it around the top of that mandrel. And then take your left one and start wrapping it around. Here, tighten up those wires down there. Wrap it around the side of your bead. Holding it with your finger, take the other wire and wrap it around the back side. of the bead. So you see, I don't know if you can see there, we've got the one wrapping around the front and one wrapping around the back. So you just want to continue to do that. So take the one that's on the left now and wrap around the side of the bead and around the back, meeting the other wire. Once you meet, switch wires and start wrapping it around the front of the bead. Go ahead and continue around with the same wire, meeting the other, holding it with your thumb. Start wrapping the other one. Now you kind of want to do the wrap a little bit tight, but you know, really the look of it is up to you. Making sure that that bead's staying on the 9. And then go ahead and wrap that wire around that bead, meeting the other. Hold it with your thumb, pick up the other wire, and go ahead and wrap. So basically what you're doing now is continue to wrap and switch off, and then just make sure that you are keeping it tight. You can tell I kind of loosened it up and it started to come up over the bead. But go ahead and wrap, and then let that go out straight out the front. And then wrap this one more time up and around, so you're going to bypass, or go ahead and pull this one down so you have one pointing out and one pointing up. So you should have one on the left, one on the right, one pointing up, one pointing down. So you want to go ahead and take this off the mandrel. As you can see, it's already got its ring shaped. So you can see that it's already crisscrossed, and it's a very cute little design. Alright, so what you want to look at is make sure that these are right around the exact same length away from the center bead. Mine's a little bit longer over here, so I'm going to take my snip, and I'm going to kind of eyeball it here, and I'm going to snip off a little bit up here at the top, just to kind of make them even. There we go. So yeah, that's much better. Making them even. Okay, once you have that, you want to hold with your thumb and your first finger that ring in your hand. Start to curve that one that's pointing up with your hand. Start to curve that wire so it curves with you, and you're going to take it and you're going to go through the ring, kind of pulling it, you know, tight, making sure that it's going to wrap right. Pull it through that center of that ring, pulling tight for that wrap. As you can see here, see how it's wrapping around those bottom wires? You want it to be real tight so it makes a tight wrap. And once you do that, you want to curve it again and go ahead and send it through one more time, making sure that these wraps do not overlap each other. You might even have to push it up with your thumb just to kind of keep it tight. So bring it up and through, and you should have 2 full wraps on here. So there's 1, and there's 2 full wraps. So go ahead and stick the ring back on the mandrel. You want to keep checking your sizes from here on out as you wrap, because we're wanting to go for a 9. For an 8. So right now we're still at a 9. So let's go ahead and wrap one more time on that same side. Smoothing it with your fingers and rounding it, and then send it through the center of the ring, wrapping it tight, making sure it's not overlapping, like mine just did. Okay, there we go. Pull it through, very tight. Alright, pushing it up with your finger. Now we've got 3 wraps. Let's go ahead and stick it back on the mandrel and check our size. You can see it's a little bit above the 9, still kind of at a 9 though. Yeah, it's basically still at a 9. So let's go ahead and take it back off the mandrel. And go ahead and start on the other side. So remember, we're going to smooth it out with our fingers and start rounding it out. Send it through the center of the ring and pulling it up through. Making 1 wrap. Go ahead and send it through again. Making 2 wraps. Now remember, we did 3 wraps on this side, so we have to do 3 wraps on this side. Go ahead and push it up a little bit. Now let's send it right back through for our 3rd wrap. Making it and pulling it tight. Now if you if your wire gets a little bit short on you and you're not able to get a hold of it, take your needle nose pliers, gingerly grab that other excess wire and just pull on it, and it'll make it real tight for you. If your wire gets too short where your fingers can't touch on it, or grab it. Okay, we should have 3 on this side and 3 on that side, which we do. Let's go ahead and stick it back on the mandrel. Alright, see, now we're at like right in between 8 1/4, 8 1/2. So let's go ahead and do one more wrap on each side. So smoothing it with your fingers, sending it back through the center, and bringing it up and through. We'll give it 4 wraps on this side. Now let's go ahead to the other side, smoothing it out with our fingers, rounding it, pushing it through the center of the ring. Now let's bring it up, pushing it with our fingers, smoothing it out, and that's a fourth wrap on that side. So we have an even wrap on each side. Go ahead and stick it back on the mandrel. Okay, we're 8 1/4, so let's do one more wrap on each side. So then we're going to smooth it out with our fingers and send it through, giving it its 5th on one side, smoothing out, round it with our fingers, send it through the center of the ring, making sure not to overlap. And that is our 5th on this side. Still a very cute ring. Let's see, back on the mandrel we go. And looky there, we're right at a size 8, which is right where we want to be. Okay, go ahead and take it back off the mandrel. Now these extra access here, you want to go ahead and take your snips, and you want to get as close to the ring as you can, and go ahead and snip off one side, and then flip it over. Go ahead and do the other side, getting as close to the ring, and snipping this side off. Once you've snipped those, you're going to have these little parts that's going to stand up. Now those are sharp, so you're going to want to, squish those down toward the ring, because you don't want to get your other side of your hand caught on it or anything like that. So let's go ahead and take our needle nose pliers, and we're going to just lay them over top of that little piece that's sticking up, and move it down toward the ring, just to smooth it out. And then take your finger over top of it and feel. And you shouldn't feel any type of, just something that's prickly. So you don't feel anything, and then turn it to the other side and do the same with it. There we go. Oh, and that's smooth too. So let's go ahead and stick it back on the mandrel one more time. Sticking this on the mandrel so many times will help also tighten up the ring. That way you help, keep the round of the ring, and it doesn't turn it apart. So see, we're right at a size 8, which is where we want it to be. Let's go ahead and take it back off the mandrel. And if you take a look here, you can move these around as you please, whatever design you want it to be. You can see you can even move them up a little bit. That way it makes a unique little design. Each one of these, you can make these in multiple different sizes, multiple different shapes, and it's going to look different every time you do it. So this is a cute little ring. So there we go. We have our finished product. It's a very sweet little ring. There we go. Very cute one. I hope you guys liked your tutorial today. That's all we have. Just go to www.hoohoojewelryandcrafts.weebly.com. I'm going to put this on the page at the end of the video, and just go take a look. If you'd like to purchase this ring will be on there as well, along with a couple other different types of rings. I have all kinds of crafts, so I'm going to be making more tutorials on different things that I make, so just keep an eye out for me. And thanks so much. Hope you guys liked it. Leave your comments below. Thanks. Bye.